The plea consists of his 5-year prison sentence, then supervised release for 3 years after that. He also has to pay $250K in fines. But they say supervised release for 3 years after that. So 5 year. It says 5-year bid. It doesn't say anything about two. It says 5-year bid and then 3 years supervised after that. So that would be like 5 years in, and then it'd be like 8 years of punishment.
I heard he was gonna do 2 years. Is it 5 years total? 2 years in, and then he's gonna do 3 years on papers and then pay the restoration fee. But I mean,
you're probably right, because a lot of these guys get charges and they're like 20 years, 25 years, 15 years, and they're home in like 5 years.
And then you remember we seen
4 years, 3 years.
We seen that one big dude, Omni the Hellcat dude that got in trouble for scamming. He got scammed for a whole bunch of money. He only got like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
He had millions. He didn't even have millions. I remember. Only thing I do remember is, I don't know if it was like 5-6 years, but I know he scammed for like millions of dollars. Man, and G Herbo only got like $250,000.
I don't understand why G Herbo is scamming, man. All of his albums do good. He always does good on going on tour, whether it be like the summer festival tour, or if he's on a tour by himself or with someone else. So
I mean, if
he that's the thing though. It's like people make it big, and then it's like, oh, if you want to party big like that, you got to stay where you're like the number one artist, because you got to make money the way you're spending it. If you ain't making money like that, then you're like, you can't be acting like that.
True. But I mean, what they're saying is, this whole wire fraud, what he was spending money on, which is like, he spent like plane rides, a trip to Jamaica, and like some dogs. That was it. He and some car rentals. He really didn't go all like, you didn't see him like buying clothes with it, paying rent with it. He was just like extra stuff, like, oh, I need to fly here, let me buy a jet.
You know, it's like, what's funny is you see all those Chicago dudes and they're like, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and then it's like, oh, follow my friend, tap in if you got the Navy Federal, Wells Fargo, doing who'll get you $5K to your bank account immediately by glitching it.
That's how
and
they
it's like, yeah, but then they ask for it back.
Pretty much. That's how they get you. Like, this whole scam thing's crazy. But
then it just messes up your credit, because they're like, oh, okay, you finessed 5K. We're just gonna put 5K on your
credit.
Yeah, on your credit.
See, I mean, but when I saw this whole thing, I took this as a W for G Herbo, because I mean, if you think about his whole life growing up and everything he did, to only get 5 years out of all the bad things you did in your whole life.
G Herbo wasn't bad. Like, he wasn't out there like King Von and things.
Listen here, man. He was with No Limit.
Yeah, he was with the Wet 'Em Up boys, and he basically didn't have to do much.
But he was around it.
Yeah, he definitely was, allegedly.
He could have been a driver. The driver would have got more than 5 years, unless he snitched. And then remember, like, the Triple X case.
You better watch yourself. You're getting too close to snitching yourself right now. And if G Herbo sees us and we get famous, I'm gonna let him get you. I'm gonna be like, all right.
I'm a G Herbo fan. What are you talking about?
I'll be like, all right, G Herbo, you can't get him. I'm gonna hold him and just let Doo-Wop slap him one time. We'll call it even. He might go for that.
Man, whatever. We're gonna see how
Doo-Wop's little, it won't hurt.
So, they say he's doing this, and on top of that, he still has his gun charge. Remember, he caught another gun charge in Chicago. Which I don't even know why I think they should drop it, because it's Chicago and he's a famous rapper. But how it is.
But you got to have your security, especially if you have prior charges or felonies or anything. If you can't have it, you can't have it. That's why you got to have security or people that are allowed to have it with you, so you don't get in troubles.
So you think do you think that Lil Baby's gonna come out of retirement to
Lil Baby?
Yeah.
He needs to, man. That fool was like, oh, I made so much money, I'm going to pay for myself to go to college. And then he's like, because he owns like all of Juice WRLD's music, because he was his manager, and he even has other artists. And so he's like more into that. But it's like, a lot of people don't even remember that when it came up, Lil Bibby was the main guy for No Limit, and G Herbo was his sidekick. Like, G Herbo was the ball out to the Chief Keef, like
the whole Chief.
Ball out was the Chief Keef. G Herbo was like that, the Little Bibby. So it's kind of funny to see that Little Bibby kind of stopped doing music, and then G Herbo's like, inspired all of New York to make music just like him.
And all of New York and all of London.
And Lil Bibby was really one of the originators of that sound. Them both were, but they were best friends, so it's kind of both their sounds.
True. Do you think that G Herbo has a whole bunch of music tucked in the stash, so when he goes to jail, we still gonna be listening to all G Herbo songs?
Yeah. He's working, so he'll have all kinds of stuff set up. And what's kind of funny is G Herbo kind of went away from his more Chicago drill music, but it's like this past couple years since No Limit Wet and some other of his broskies have gotten out of jail that he's kind of been back on that drill, like for real drill type music. So I'm excited to see if his music comes out. Hopefully he gets good behavior. Hopefully he doesn't go to church every day like Lil J, and he can get his time reduced. Church, that's not.
It's not a place you want to go.
No, you're not. You're gonna get your time reduced, but then you're gonna get your. You're gonna have a swollen butt.
You couldn't even cover it up. You couldn't say anything else.
Swollen.
Discovered.
Like when. Never mind.
Discuss it. But man, comment below, man. Let us know how you feel about this whole G Herbo situation. Do you find it as is this karma, or is this God telling G Herbo to sit down? You're being too reckless in these streets.
Basically, he's telling it. See, this is like what a lot of people like. A lot of people get mad that kind of Chief Keef when he made it. Like he took his favorite like 5 to 8 people and was gone. And then, but G Herbo, it's like when you stay around that stuff, you kind of have a chance to get in trouble.
True, but
or to get in on a RICO.
He's trying to live up to the rapper lifestyle, but I mean, but at the same time,
he kind of was away from it. That's why some of his dudes was like kind of mad at him. That's why like No Limit Cairo was all butthurt about him, and like he said he's gonna take me to Egypt, and I never got to touch a camel, and like. My name's Cairo. Cairo needs to be in Egypt.
Oh man!
But
Cairo finally went inside McDonald's.
I heard he lost a tooth in McDonald's. But he was a young kid.
A legend.
At least he didn't leave.
Oh Lord! But man, comment below. Let us know how you feel about the whole G Herbo situation.